1,100 kilometers. That's how far this car has travelled in the past 2 years. Yes, that is a very poor effort, especially for an MX-5. It wasn't always this way though. It used to be my daily driver, but because of the arrival of this thing, and my previous house only having room for one car in the garage, this car ended up sitting in a storage shed for about a year. And then, for the next year, it only did short trips to work and back, because it needed some big maintenance jobs, and between my new house and this thing, I couldn't really stomach the cost, and I also didn't have the time to do the jobs myself, mostly because of, well, this thing. But it's summertime here in Australia now, and it's criminal to own a convertible sports car and not drive it as much as possible. So today, we're going to resurrect my pretty much abandoned Mazda Mx5.
Since this is a Japanese car, reliability isn't really an issue if you keep up with the maintenance. So the first step was to tackle the maintenance. Although it had only driven a little over 1,000 Ks, it was due an oil change and it had sprung a few coolant leaks that needed finding and fixing, which I suspect came from the car not being driven much. After a quick rip to blow all the cobwebs off, the full service job took less than a day, and the cost wasn't so bad. The heavy hitter though was the timing belts and the water pump. These are really important parts. The timing belts job is crucial for keeping the car running. It loops around the crankshaft at the bottom of the engine and then around the camshafts at the top. As it turns, the camshafts open valves which allow air into the cylinders for combustion and then allow the exhaust to exit. It all has to happen at exactly the right time, otherwise the engine won't idle or accelerate properly, it'll rattle or ping, use way too much fuel, misfire, overheat, and if it's really out of time or the belt snaps completely, it could even cause the cylinders and valves to hit each other, which means engine kablamo, forget about it, is dead, gone. Luckily, this particular engine isn't an interference engine, which means if the belt were to snap, it wouldn't lunch it. It would stall and it wouldn't run, but it wouldn't destroy it, so that's a good thing.
Nevertheless, I've owned the car for a little over 11 years now, and it's never been changed in the time that I've had it. A little look at the service records show that the timing belt was done at 118,000 Ks. And although these belts are supposed to last 100,000 Ks between changes, which this hasn't done, the age of it was enough to convince me to change it. Old rubber that goes through heat cycles in an engine bay isn't something I want to risk.
The mechanic also mentioned that the water pump, which is buried right down there on the front of the engine, looked pretty crusty. Now, it was changed last time the timing belt was done, but I'm glad that it's been changed again now because you really don't want that to fail.
The water pump's job is pretty self-explanatory. It keeps coolant pumping around the engine and radiator, and if it were to fail, the engine would quickly overheat and warp the heads and maybe blow up, and you'd have a bad time. It'd be a very, very bad time.
Now, it's old, so it has the obligatory oil leaks and the aircon compressor is leaking too. But the sky is my aircon, so that'll be a job for another day.
The only other thing I may need to do is raise the suspension slightly. Some of the roads around Adelaide feel like they were made with Play-Doh by toddlers, and I get a little nervous that I'll rip the underside of my car to shreds, but I need to drive them more to find out if that's actually the case. So let's do that.
I'd forgotten how much I like this car. It's light on its feet, zippy, and incredibly fun at sensible speeds. My particular MX5 is a Clubman model. It was a special edition for the Australian market that came with the 1.8 litre engine in the front, a limited slip differential at the back, and Bilstein suspension on all four corners, along with some tasty bits of Nardi trim on the interior, including the steering wheel and the gear knob. The engine only produces about 130 horsepower, or at least it did the day it left the factory. But the car itself weighs under 1,000 kilos, so it does actually feel very zippy. This car also has no power steering and no ABS, so you are on your own. But there's no getting away from the fact that 130 horsepower still isn't that much, so you're unlikely to get yourself into trouble. The suspension I have installed in this car is from an Australian company called MCA. Their coilovers are custom made for each car and are fully adjustable and rebuildable. They soak up all the bumps really quite well, but still keep the car cornering nice and flat and feeling really pointy. The exhaust was put on this car before I bought it. I have no idea what brand it is or really anything about it, but it sounds fruity and that's really all that matters to me. While on the road, I decided to stop at a Cars and Coffee in Blackwood for the first meet of 2026. If there's one thing that I really like about car meets in Adelaide, it's the variety. Euro, Australian, JDM, kit car, you name it, it's probably there. Of course, I couldn't go past some familiar sights, like this Mariner Blue MX5 with some interesting wheels. It's a pretty cool colour that we don't see much of here in Australia. And there was this 1956 oval window Beetle, which I've been told has a punchy 1800cc engine and a whole lot of money poured into it. And personally, I think it looks worth it. Make sure you leave a comment down below with which car you would take home, and if there's any cars you reckon we should have more of on the channel. While you're at it, why not hit subscribe? It really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate every one of you who has already subscribed. For me, I would take home this Gen 1 Honda NSX. Not only the fact that it's red with white wheels, which is a goated combo, but pop-up headlights, mid-engine V6, manual gearbox, and absolute JDM legend status. It's just excellent. Well, that is going to do it for today's video. Sorry it took so long to get out. I took a big break over Christmas and New Year, maybe got a little bit lazy, but 2026 now, regular uploads are coming soon. I'm so glad that I finally got around to doing all of the work on this car and I can rip it around without any mechanical anxiety. Every time I take this car out, I remember how much I love it. It's great fun. It's a forever car in my garage, and I hope you guys like it too, because there's probably going to be some more content with it coming up soon at some point. Don't actually know when, but there will definitely be more content with this car at some point. But as I say, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to go enjoy a bit more of this sunshine, and I'll catch you guys again soon, really soon.